Okay, hope everybody's having a great Thursday. I just decided to make a way different video, and this is basically in response to a box that I was sorting, and I wanted to share with these. I've showed them on YouTube before, but this was a long time ago. I'm not sure I've showed all of them in this particular video. This is not the entire collection I have. Going through boxes, which is absolutely massively insane, but I have some stuff I'm going to be shipping off to one or two YouTubers in the future. So without further ado, I'll show you what these are. So these are stock certificates, and if you don't know anything about stock certificates, the best thing to do is go to eBay or you know, some other similar type site and just buy the $1 and $2 stock certificates, because that's what most of these things cost. You can study the heck out of these and you get a whole bunch of ideas what to look for in the future, and then there's no harm, no foul, and you got something you get theoretically framed. Now this one's not super frameable because it's got another piece attached to it, but this is the California Pacific Trading Company here, common stock here, 100 shares. Mannheim, Dibburn and Company was the previous bearer of this one. These are all what we call canceled, non-transferable or whatever, so these have no technically monetary value, but they might have some sort of minor historical or collectible value. Not exactly sure how old this one. I'm not sure if that's dated 63 or 83, but and then there's some other transfer papers, transfer instructions on the back there from a lot later. And there's all kinds of signatures on some of these. Usually these are just signatures of like secretaries and other unimportant people. Sometimes they're rubber stamped or facsimile signatures. But I think, was it George Bush's grandfather or something might be on some stocks here. But some of the you will recognize, and they look really impressive once you buy a very you can just get a very decorative frame at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Goodwill type thrift store. This is a General Foods common stock here, 100 shares. That's, you know, a common one. Sometimes you'll find 1,000 shares here, but you can see it's all punched here. But again, some of these are rubber stamped. This is dated 1955 right there, so that's getting kind of older there. Either 65 or 55. It's kind of hard to read the stamp there, but really cool stock there. General Foods is kind of a popular one among collectors here. But again, I wanted to say that with shipping and all that fun stuff, this was a whopping $1 for this stock, maybe $1.50. I bought stocks as low as I think 75 cents. Here's the the Consumer's Power Company. This is voided. It's not particularly that old. When I say old, you know, I mean, you know, mid-century. This is March of '76. This is, I think, out of Michigan. There's the state of Michigan seal right there. That's, I forget, that's the vignette is what they call that. I'm sure I've mentioned all this in my previous videos before. Hopefully the sound will work okay. There's nothing marked back on the back of there, so it might have been another sheet of paper, but really this was just sitting in some sort of file clerk's desk, or I mean, you know, file cabinet for many years, so nothing special there. Then we have the New York Railroad Company. Now this is very cool, the New York Central, because a lot of people collect railroad stocks and monopoly stocks here. That's very neat. This is 40 shares. Shares without par value in the New York Central Railroad. Every once in a while you might find a stock that somebody's missed, but you know, something. But all these are pre-printed signatures on there, more or less. So there's some sort of initialing there, so that's always very cool. So you guess technically most of these are signed documents here. Sometimes you'll find the voided or canceled right through a signature, which is kind of debilitating for the signature here. This is Arlen, Texas. I tell you what, I'm Hank Hill, assistant manager of Strickland Propane and Propane Accessory. No, I'm just kidding. Arlen Realty and Development Corporation. I'm not sure how I got this one, but I'm sure less than 100 shares. It says it looks like 1 share. So somebody got 1 share there. Not to be confused with the artist known as Share, but anyway. There is this one, Common Stack, $1 par value. Again, these are like $1 a thing. There's another cool one here. There's a North American Light and Power Company. Now this is older. This is dated 1934. It's got a really nice vignette there. It's very cool here. I don't know a lot about stocks, but I do know that this one is really neat because there's all kinds of. So if you know who William Brackenbush here, it looks like he signed it. JL something, or a very shaky signature there, and some sort of fountain pen it looks like. But these guys signed hundreds of documents, so their signatures got kind of sloppy there. But Anyway, this space may not be covered in any way. Really cool, a bunch of holes punched in it. I think I have several of those because sometimes these come as bundles, so that's 25 shares there. And this one here is 15 shares. Olive J. Watts is the name on this one here. The other one was William Brackenbush, 25 shares. And this is 4099, and this is 30808. And we have the Translux Corporation. It was funny because there was some television programs that had Translux in the back of the end of the show. So I don't know exactly sure what they did there, but this is 100 shares. This is out of the 1980s. I'm sure that this has been around. See, the logo is very vintage on there. It's kind of like a 40s, 50s era logo there. That's kind of cool. That was probably like $1 or $2. These are not my most popular stocks here, but here's Reno Air, and they no longer exist, but it's a more computerized stock sheet here, so you won't find much in the way of signatures. There's one with some holes in it. I don't know who that is. New York Stock Exchange Medallion Signature Program. Not sure. Authorized signature. So you may never know who these people have signed it here. There's some sort of stamping or canceling there. And this was for 900 shares, it looks like. So that's just under 1,000 shares. Then we have this one here is the First Charter Financial Corporation. Again, I don't remember exactly why or how I got these. This is more than 100 shares. I have some in frames, one bought in frame. This is from 1974. Some of them just have kind of, there's like a Conestoga wagon heading into the Great Unknown there, and there is that one there. I got just a couple more stocks here, 3 or 4 maybe. Pan American World Airways, so that's Pan Am. Mitchum Jones Templeton Incorporated. You can look up that company there and see what they did. You know, they're probably something else now. Mitchum Jones. This is F0122904. 17 shares it looks like, capital stock there. I don't know what the difference between that and common stock is, but anyway, kind of neat to have that. Again, these are very, very affordable. You would think that these are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but to somebody else, it's just an old piece of paper that's floating around a desk. This one has a date of 1970 there, so it's circa around that time, see 69 and 70, so it's a very nice vignette there. The Pan Am stocks are pretty popular here. This one here, I think, was a buck. Sometimes these sellers, the more you buy, the cheaper they get. This is 100 shares of the American Tobacco Company. That's really, really amazing here. William T. Griffith, Sand Coulee. I've heard of Grand Coulee, but I've never heard of Sand Coulee, Montana. And then there's not much in the way of signatures. It just says stock, dividend, 100, American Tobacco there. There's not very much in the way of signatures on there, so it might have been... This was probably stapled to a whole bunch of other ones, maybe. It doesn't look like there's a lot of staples in there, so that's kind of a nice 1962 document right there. Scoot back there a little bit. And then the last one we have is another Pan Am American World Airways Incorporated. I wanted to say that these were ones that I bought all at one time. There's some staples there because they were probably stapled in a big. It says Crocker National Bank, canceled 1966. Again, this is only 10 shares of capital stock there. Then there's a 1964, and then they punched through the signatures there. They do that. These are not probably... I cannot tell if those are actual signatures or... Hey, look, Jack Tripper. It almost looks like J. Tripper. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Well, he'd be, Taste Company. And then there's some other markings. Says there's Miss Lucille Monte or something like that. Monte, I'm not sure. Interesting. And then there's some other sort of rubber stamped signature, Alfred Coyle there. And then somebody Ebert has autographed it there. Not Roger Ebert. Yeah, we got Roger Ebert and Jack Tripper on the same one there. So if you know anything about stocks, the best way to study these is buy one or two in the dirt cheap section of eBay, and then see what you get, see what they look like, and then try to research everything you can on these, and that will eventually give you the opportunity to buy some more expensive stocks. Don't start on the high end of the market. Also, you'll notice that I have a bunch of railroad ones and tobacco ones and also airline ones. Some of those are the most expensive, but yet some of those are also the most cheapest ones. So that's the best way to get started. That's all I can tell you at the moment, just kind of on the fly of this video here. And let me know if you have any of these for your collection, and thank you for watching.